Welcome to episode 66 of the Creative Train podcast. Today we're going to look at whether or not art is even important to anybody anymore. I do a lot of different things. I like to cook and do stained glass, garden stuff, woodworking, even some basic general light maintenance on my car. But first and foremost, I consider myself an artist. Check out another episode previous to this called Who Do You Think You Are? That was my time when I first realized I'm an artist. Wow. And ask any artist. They'll say that creativity and art is key to their mental health, critical even to their identity, both as who they are to themselves, but in the world in general. And it's without a doubt our primary source of buoyancy and resiliency. So today we're going to take a look at, from the micro to the macro, whether art is important to anybody anymore. All aboard. So what's going on with all the AI stuff? I'd say from my perspective, it's pretty upsetting. Art is being normalized now to be seen as nothing more than a hobby, nothing to be taken seriously. It's a frivolous way to pass your spare time. And the perception of artists from those more, quote, serious members of society, the contributors, is that their artists are somewhat lesser, willing to be frivolous and waste their time. They're space fillers. Case in point, playing for exposure. That means playing for free. Back in 1985, I was a 15-year-old bass player. I found myself filling in for absent members some nights in local pubs and eventually got in with some fellas close to my own age and started a band, and we played for a couple years. Did well. But with a note from my mom to the bar manager, I was allowed to go into the pub as long as I didn't try to buy alcohol. So I didn't, and my career as a professional musician began. Back then, the typical pay for one night was $100 per player, plus a cut of the bar, and 100% of the door if you charged a cover. Typical cover back in the day was like $5. So on an average night in 1986, a 15-year-old kid, I could go home with about $150 cash in my pocket. And that was a lot. Now, I and many others are being offered gigs for $200 to $300 for a band for everybody. Not each, for the whole band. No cut of the venue's profits from the bar. And nowadays, hardly anybody will come to a bar and pay a cover to see a band. See, the value of music in those places is critical to draw people in. But the value to pay those people who create the music and create the vibe is almost nothing. And that's a real kick in the knackers, being asked to play for exposure, where a venue owner might say something like, "Oh, we have a very high-end clientele. You can make lots of significant connections. You can make your business cards available on your table. But there is no budget for live entertainment, so we would like to offer you the opportunity to showcase your talents for our guests during the event," or something like that. What I or we hear as the artist band being asked to play, what it sounds like to us is they're saying, we have enough draw to bring in some pretty, well-off folks, high-end clientele. We want them here. We want them to buy our overpriced drinks. We want them to be entertained, and we want them to come back. We want them to really dig the vibe here. But we don't really believe your music is worth paying for, because really we could just play a Spotify playlist through the restaurant instead. But we think it'd be cool to have live music. It makes us look good. It's from 5 p.m. till midnight. We'd love to have you. I'll admit, I'm no math guy, but I see a pretty huge gap in what musicians were paid when I was coming up versus now. I honestly outright refuse to play these exposure gigs. Honestly, since COVID, it's gotten worse in some cases. But that said, I have had the good fortune of playing a few small venues in my small town, and they've been very gracious to me, accommodating and understanding that they are actually hiring a professional musician to come in and make sure the vibe is right for their guests. I take this responsibility very seriously. I mean, come on, it's all about the vibe factor, right? I approach every situation or problem as one where an artist's approach might bring an unexpected and maybe even refreshingly unique solution. The value of art is almost zero now. It's the first to go when school boards need to cut costs, then the shop classes get cut. Our kids are being programmed to believe that the trades are for the dumb kids who can't get into university for that coveted business administration degree, and the arts are for the weirdos who probably have mental issues. I'm not trying to make this an us and them kind of thing. The world needs all of us together, each doing their thing the best they can. Like I said, you don't want me doing your taxes. I'm no math guy. What I'm talking about here is the bigger picture, how art is slowly being minimized and downgraded, and eventually it's being removed from our lives and replaced with screens flashing ads, AI-generated renditions of art. And did you know that even AI created, I hate to use that word, created music is populating some of the biggest playlists out there online? The streaming service actually creates these viral songs and bands. They're not real. They get your money to listen to them, but with no actual artist to pay. It's gravy for them. Wow. And most people don't pick up on it. You can say that music is just a hobby for most folks, right? Most, but not all. Think of the soundtrack for your favorite movie. Now imagine the impact of that movie without that music. Or even the Foley artists who created all the background sounds, like you hear like walking sounds or environmental sounds, mechanical things. Those are not naturally occurring sounds within the filming environment. They are put in after the filming by very highly skilled artists. Oh, but that's a movie. That's not art, right? Well, let's ask, what exactly is art then? I think most people think of art as it's a painting, maybe a sculpture. The rest gets put into the craft category, like jewelry, woodworking, glass. They recognize that there is a definite skill to making these things, but the general opinion of art and what it is seems to be kind of confused. The analog to the musician's pay comes up again here, where there are enough folks creating, I put that in quotes, creating, without actually making anything original. This is why I always make a differentiation between artists and creators. They're both honorable in my books. But once enough folks get in on the trends at craft shows and stuff, and they all see what works and they all start shifting and basically make the same things, the waters get clouded by the sameness of it all. So they lower their prices to attract more sales, thereby devaluing everyone else's stuff. And eventually we get to the state of playing for exposure. There are lots of bands that do it, and they are not bands that are, I'd say, professional, but I know that somebody will probably get mad at me for saying that. They're good for newbies, starter bands, jam bands, basement bands. But if you want professionals, hire professionals. Getting back to this devaluing, eventually everything has been devalued because everybody lowers their prices. So people will make things they think people want. They lower the price to make the sale. The next guy does the same thing. And we get to the point where we are now, where the consumer basically loses interest in the whole thing. In the music community, there's an understanding that if enough people play for free or for, quote, exposure, then what's the draw to booking gigs for others? From an artist's perspective, once this slide starts to happen, our whole identity as artists or creative people seems to be cast in the light of just being a frivolous hobby, a pastime. You know, the thing that we've poured countless hours into mastering, investing in the best tools we can afford to do the best work for our customers and clients. The eventual pride and confidence found in manifesting our creative vision for the world to see. That's what we do. Yeah, that. It's frivolous, right? Take the thing or things that you have accomplished, that you take the most pride in. Pride, to me, is something that you have in something you accomplish. I'm not proud to be a human. I didn't accomplish being a human. I've created many works of glass art and music art. I'm proud of those because I created them. So take the things that you're most proud of having accomplished and imagine that the world around you starts to slowly turn toward the notion that you didn't really do anything of value. Like, you did your thing, but is the world any better off for it? Did you fix world hunger? Fix up the climate? Clean up the oceans? No, obviously. Your pride in accomplishment doesn't really have a price tag attached to it. So what that means is there's no perceived value in it. You can ask artists and they will understand. But you ask other people the value of art, they'll happily go to a department store and buy a, quote, painting, or go to Home Depot or something like that and buy art. You know, it's a painting of something you can put on your wall, but it's not really made by a human. You know, it's just spat out of a machine. Once there becomes a free version of art, your creations, will anyone want to hand over their hard-earned money in exchange for your art? You meet a very blessed few who understand what it takes to create art. They do it, they buy it, they collect it, they display it, and they love to have it around them. I've had that happen, and I'm so very grateful. Ask any graphic designer you know about the tide of AI images and videos used in online ads now. Ask a voice actor how they feel about their voice being replicated by an AI app. Ask a musician how they feel about AI music raking in millions, if not billions, of streams online, turning into revenue. One very bright point in all of this is a few lines I heard from a fella on YouTube named Ben Jordan. He drew an interesting analog between the arrival of the chip or tap technology used in debit payments and credit card payments to the advent of AI. His take was that if we have to be constantly prompted to try or use the AI button on every app and every web page we visit, the trend is not really kicking in en masse. And then he says, did anyone ever have to encourage you over and over again to try the tap feature on your debit card? So I think that is saying that there's not enough people that are like going so gangbusters on it that they don't have to keep bombarding us. Every ad on social media is regarding the next new AI app that you can use to steal, basically. So there's hope, I suppose. But right here, right now, real art, original art, meaningful and impactful art, inspired art created by humans is seeing a decline in not only the possible financial benefit to the artist, but also to our general notion of what is or isn't important about art. Art in its finest moment can capture us, inspire us, give us hope in times of despair, confidence in our choices, or the bravery to just make a choice. That could be a piece of music, it could be a wonderful painting depicting something historical, or just being able to be around a beautifully designed environment. And in other moments, art can relieve the strain on our minds and our bodies after a tough day at work. It can keep us buoyant and amused on dreary days. It stirs nostalgia, sentimentality, emotion that was experienced decades ago becomes new again in a heartbeat. I believe art makes us better people. And truth, not everyone is inclined to become an artist. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. But the guy or the gal who fixed your car is an artist of sorts. Their intuition, guided by their understanding of certain mechanical realities, brought your car back to life. The chef who prepared your meal, the landscaper, your hairdresser, or even a particularly pleasant cashier can bring art into your life in the form of an unexpected or unique experience that their own creative mind made happen for you. Art isn't just about making things. Art can be an attitude, one aligned with bringing wonder and beauty and fulfillment into even the most mundane of life's experiences. And to go back to the original question, is art important? You're darn right it is. Even if you don't make stuff, you can still live a creative life. And some days, just keeping your head above water is an art form. It takes practice, dedication, a few tools, some mental agility, and a commitment to making the world a better place, one very small thing at a time. We've talked about physical art, the things we can surround ourselves with. There's musical art, crafting and creating, and it all circles back to a few main points for me. Is it interesting? Is it unique? Do I want to re-experience it? And most of all, does it carry the unique vibe of the artist? If so, I'll make every effort to purchase it. Just like everything else, there is apparently a market for everything. But let's remember to keep things in perspective. Those things that are from the mind and the heart and the soul of an artist are in no way similar to the things the AI bots scrape and scrounge off of already existing material for you. If you're in need of design, entertainment, fabrication, whatever, find a human to provide it for you. If you're an artist, as I like to say, there's your pep talk. Now go get to work. Yeah, go get to work. My beloved artsy, I don't believe our time is fading. I believe our time is coming, back. It's coming back. It reminds me of a conversation I had tonight with a 16-year-old music student who said, everybody I know hates AI. They hate everything about it. I think it's only people, your age, that like it. And I think it's true. They use it for free images to promote their businesses or their gigs or whatever they're doing, making really crappy videos and really trite-sounding voiceovers. People are getting tired of it. Artsy, hang on. We're coming back, and I've got your back.